The first time Karen marched up my driveway, clipboard shaking like she was on a mission from the heavens. I thought she was just another nosy neighbor. But the second she opened her mouth, I realized she was something much worse. An HOA zealot who believed she owned everybody and everything in our quiet neighborhood. "You haven't paid your HOA dues," she snapped. "Failure to join the HOA means eviction." I blinked. Slow, confused. "But this community isn't mandatory HOA," I replied. She smiled. One of those tight, artificial smiles that hides a threat. "It is now. We voted. Funny thing, though? I wasn't part of their HOA, never signed anything, never agreed to anything. My property predated their HOA by 8 years. But that didn't stop. Karen, she thought she could bully me into submission, threatening, daily notices, fines, letters that looked legal but weren't. Even walking across my yard snapping photos like some discount neighborhood inspector. She treated me like a criminal for refusing to join her community vision. And then came the letter. Eviction notice, failure to join HOA. It wasn't legal, but it lit a fire inside me. She crossed a line. I called the county, an attorney, even the developer's office. And that's when I discovered something Karen didn't know. Something powerful. Something devastating. This entire subdivision, clubhouse, tennis courts, manicured entrance, pond, and all sat on a parcel of land the HOA leased, not owned. A parcel of land the developer still controlled, and was now taking offers on. Most of the neighborhood didn't know, but I did. The moment the clerk whispered it, I felt the universe wink. While Karen tried to push me out of a neighborhood I legally belonged to, she had no idea. I was about to make the single most earth-shifting purchase of her life, and destroy the kingdom she ruled with a clipboard and a glare. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from anger. Sometimes it comes from opportunity, served ice cold with a side of property law. When Karen posted a smug HOA notice on my door saying, "People like you don't belong here," I smiled for the first time in weeks. Because that very morning, I had wired the funds, and by sunset, I owned the land under their precious HOA clubhouse. The news didn't hit the HOA board right away. To them, everything seemed normal. Karen strutted around like a self-appointed queen handing out fines for grass length and trash cans, visible for 5 minutes too long. What she didn't know was that her kingdom had already changed hands, and the deed had my name on it. The property wasn't cheap, but I saw it as an investment in peace, justice, and entertainment. Mostly entertainment. Because once you've been threatened with illegal eviction by a woman who weaponizes baked goods, gossip circles, and speedwalks with intimidation energy, revenge becomes art. The developer's agent practically laughed when I paid. "You're about to cause chaos," he said. "Oh," I replied, "I'm planning on it." The HOA's clubhouse wasn't just a building. It was their pride, their headquarters, their temple of control. And I owned the ground beneath it. I waited 1 week. Let them hold meetings, plan events, sip tea while plotting homeowner misery. Then I sent a polite letter. "Hello, HOA board. As the new landowner, please vacate the clubhouse within 30 days to renegotiate a lease, or remove the structure. Have a wonderful day." Safe to say, they did not enjoy the wonderful day I wished them. Karen stormed to my yard within an hour, red-faced, trembling, shaking a crumpled copy of the notice like it personally attacked her ancestors. "This is a joke," she shrieked. "No," I smiled calmly. "What you did was a joke. This is business." She sputtered, demanded proof, demanded respect, demanded I remember my place. "I do remember my place," I replied. "It's under your clubhouse." She froze, realizing, processing, breaking. It was the first time I saw her confident glare melt into pure panic. The moment a tyrant realizes their crown came glued from the dollar store. Then she made her fatal error. She tried to threaten me again. "You'll regret this," she hissed. "You already regret me," I answered. And that's when I knew this wasn't just about property anymore. This was about pride, hers snapping, mine rising. She wasn't just fighting for control. She was fighting because losing to me shattered her universe. The board scrambled. Lawyers called. Voices shook. Panic spread. And the countdown had begun. Karen held emergency meetings like she was trying to prevent a national disaster. Flyers everywhere, frantic emails, door-knocking campaigns. Neighbors whispered. Board members sweated. Their clubhouse, their symbol of superiority, was slipping away. "Can he even do that?" someone asked in panic during a meeting. "Yes," I answered from the doorway, just to enjoy the moment. Karen gasped. "You can't be here!" "Actually," I said, leaning casually against the frame, "I own this dirt, so technically I can be wherever the dirt is." The silence was gourmet. The HOA tried everything. Legal threats, intimidation, fake rules scribbled like a child forging a permission slip. Their lawyer politely told them the truth. They had no legal standing. They couldn't evict me. They couldn't force membership, and the land was rightfully mine. Karen's power dissolved overnight. She went from queen bee to cornered raccoon. She even tried to gather signatures to stop me, only to realize signing a wish doesn't make it law. Meanwhile, I drafted the next notice. Due to failure to vacate, a daily land use fee will apply. They thought I was bluffing. Payment meters started ticking. The HOA board panicked worse than a toddler watching someone eat their last cookie. They begged. They bargained. They offered compromise. Karen even tried charm, which, on her, looked like a malfunctioning robot attempting empathy. "You don't want to do this," she whispered one evening. "You threatened to evict me from my home," I reminded her. She said the line all tyrants eventually say. I was just doing my job. "No," I said quietly. "You were abusing power. Now you answer to someone else." That's when she finally broke. The clipboard dropped. Her voice shook. Fear replaced arrogance. Because tyrants can bully neighbors. But they can't bully land ownership records. And the neighborhood? They saw it all. The whispers changed tone. People realized I wasn't the villain. I was the boundary they wished they'd set long ago. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I didn't flex muscle. I let her collapse under the weight of her own behavior. And when the 30-day mark hit, I delivered the final notice. On day 31, a calm morning sun rose, and with it, a towing company and a set of contractors. The HOA board was waiting anxiously, Karen front and center clutching her final shred of imagined authority. "What are you doing?" she barked. "Complying with the notice," I replied. "Since you refuse to sign a lease or pay land use fees, the structure must be removed." Her jaw dropped. Board members gasped. And slowly, methodically, workers began detaching landscaping stones, unbolting fixtures, preparing the clubhouse for relocation like a giant, embarrassing shed. It wasn't about destruction. It was about boundaries and consequences. A crowd formed. Phones recorded. The once untouchable HOA empire dismantled piece by piece. Karen tried to rally the neighborhood, but no one moved. The same people she once fined over mailbox flags, they now watched like it was live theater. "This is illegal," she screamed. "No," I replied. "Evicting homeowners illegally is illegal." One neighbor clapped quietly. Then another. Soon the whole street was applauding. Karen's face twisted, not in anger, but realization. She had lost not just power. She had lost respect, control, her audience, her identity. By sunset, the clubhouse sat on a flatbed trailer, humiliated, rolling out of the neighborhood like a dethroned parade float. The HOA board resigned one by one. New volunteers took over. Normal neighbors, not clipboard tyrants. We created a new system. Low fees, simple rules, community first. No intimidation. No arrogance. And as for Karen, she moved out a month later, claiming the neighborhood changed. Everyone knew the truth. The neighborhood didn't change. Her control did. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's a legal land purchase. A quiet notice, a tow truck, and a clipboard hitting the ground. And every time I walk past where the clubhouse once stood, now a peaceful community garden, I smile. She tried to evict me. Instead, I evicted her power. Revenge didn't destroy the community. It saved it. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Your support helps us bring you more wild HOA and Karen stories. Don't miss the next one.